Hey, it's Rhianna. Welcome back to my channel and another episode of Tasty Tuesday. Today I'm going to be making a low-carb blueberry muffin with a lemon cream cheese frosting or icing, whatever you want to call it. A couple things before I get started that I want to mention is now that I've been doing these Tasty Tuesday recipes for a while, two things that have kind of been brought to my attention by y'all that I have no longer been doing. I no longer include like the macro information usually in my recipes, and I also want to let y'all know that if I call something keto or low carb or whatever, I am not the keto police, and I prefer for you not to be the keto police either. If this is not a recipe that fits the way that you personally keto, then don't make the recipe. Otherwise, you know, it fits for Jonathan and I wanted to share the recipe with y'all and how easy or difficult or whatever it may be. I did feel like I needed to address that because I have been getting a lot of comments for those two things. I don't include the macros anymore because it varies depending on the brand that you use, how big your serving sizes are, and things like that. And then the whole thing with, is it low carb, is it keto? Use your discretion on those things. I'd really appreciate that. Okay, with all that said, let's take a look at the ingredients. Okay, so this is everything you're gonna need for both the icing and for the muffins. Okay, so for the muffins, you're gonna need half a stick of butter and 4 ounces of cream cheese softened, 1/2 teaspoon vanilla, 1/2 cup coconut flour, preferably measured out to 50 grams, 1/4 cup of swerve, 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/16 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/8 teaspoon of xanthan gum. For your wet ingredients, you're gonna need 3 large eggs and 1/4 cup of heavy cream. You're also gonna need 1/3 cup fresh blueberries and then an additional 2 teaspoons of swerve. For the icing, you're gonna need 4 ounces of cream cheese softened and cut into cubes, as well as 2 tablespoons of butter softened, cut into cubes, 1/2 cup of powdered swerve, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, 1 tablespoon heavy whipping cream, and the juice from 1 lemon. So I don't actually have the confectioner's sugar version of swerve. So what I did is I measured out the 1/2 cup of the granulated, there we go. I measured out 1/2 cup of the granulated swerve, and then I just used my actual immersion blender and I just blended it up until it was a more powdered consistency. I think you could probably use granules. It would just make your frosting or your icing a little bit more gritty. Okay, for the first step, you're gonna preheat your oven to 350, which I've already done. In a medium mixing bowl, you're going to combine the butter and the cream cheese as well as the vanilla. You want to cream these together until they're light and fluffy. Add 1 egg. And you're going to beat this until it's light and fluffy as well. So I mixed all of the dry ingredients together, and you're gonna add 1/3 of this to the wet mixture and then continue beating until fluffy. It's really important that you're keeping a light and fluffy consistency. Add another egg. Add the next half of the dry ingredients, the last egg, once you have the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients incorporated and everything's nice and fluffy, you're gonna add 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream, and once again beat it until it's combined and light and fluffy. Now you want to fold in the 1/3 cup blueberries. Okay, now you want to place some cupcake liners in your cupcake pan. The recipe says it makes 6 muffins, so let's just see if it actually does. Okay, the recipe suggests piping this into a plastic bag. I have this reusable pipette thing, but I don't think I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna try a Ziploc baggie. Okay, you wanna pipe the batter into your cupcake liner, filling about 3/4 of a way. Okay, then you want to knock down any peaks with your finger. And then sprinkle a little bit of swerve on top of each one to prevent burning. Whoop, that was a lot. So place that in your oven. You want it to be on like the bottom third of the oven, and put your oven up to 400 degrees for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, lower it back down to 350 and cook for about 25 minutes. You're looking for it to be kind of firm, but still kind of feel like they're moist. While the muffins are cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and start on our icing. You're going to mix the cream cheese and the butter that's been softened and cubed until it's creamed. You're gonna add the 1 tablespoon of vanilla. And the 1/2 cup of the powdered erythritol. I feel like that's a lot of erythritol, but follow the instructions. One tablespoon of heavy whipping cream. And then since I'm making this a lemon flavored cream cheese frosting, I'm gonna add some fresh lemon juice. So I just rolled out a lemon. I'm gonna cut it in half and squeeze the juice in. Oh yeah, that's good. Here's the finished product. Don't they look delicious? Yummy. Ooh, nice busted blueberry in there. All right, let's get out the icing and do a taste test. My mouth is watering. Oh my goodness. So good. It's really moist on the inside. I probably could have cooked it a few minutes longer, but I'm fine with it. Definitely tastes like a muffin. It's not super sweet. You can taste a little bit of the blueberry, a little bit of the lemon. You can tell it's made with coconut flour, but it's not overpowering. I really like it. This recipe was a requested video from Jonathan. He actually saw this recipe on Instagram and requested that I make it. So if you have any requests for a recipe you'd like to see on Tasty Tuesday, leave a comment down below and I will definitely do my best to try to make it for y'all. If you're interested in trying out this recipe, I will have a link down below to where I originally got the recipe from. And the cream cheese frosting, I think, is not from the same recipe, so I'll see if I can find a link for that as well. If you end up making it, let me know what you think of it. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Tasty Tuesday. Subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to click that thumbs up button, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!